All right, this is a nosebleed perspective. Welcome back, fellas. Just kind of go over last week in sports, and basically all this week has been all NBA and all NHL. So exciting either way. Sports are back full fledged, like from over here in Arizona, at least from like 9 a.m. all the way up until I'm going to bed at night. So it's pretty incredible. It's been fun for sure. Um, we're going to go ahead and start it off with my Arizona Coyotes. Got a lot of shit for putting them over the Preds. Just recently wrapped up the series in 4 games against Nashville. So pretty exciting for me as a team that I am trying to get liking. It's always nice whenever you start liking a team, at least in my experience with this, when they actually, win. So um, proud of those guys, man. We go
Yeah,
back.
it's convenient for you. It worked for you with the Warriors, with the
Every single
Rams.
time. I know. Watch them win a cup this year, and then I'll just get shit on again. It's like, no, it can't happen again. You're right. Yeah, how convenient. But that was fun to watch. They won an OT just a minute ago. You guys have any other thoughts on any other series? Go ahead and take it from here.
I will go ahead and apologize to Carolina for doubting them in any sort of way. I think, honestly, we see this in the NBA as well. Carolina is not the best team in the league, but in the bubble, they're the best team in hockey right now. In my eyes, Aho is just an absolute stud. He's playing like I've never seen him play before. And I would just like to formally apologize for putting the terrible Rangers over them. My bad. Let the emotions get ahead of me. Tried to make some upset picks, and I learned my mistake.
Yeah. As a Devils fan, I'm embarrassed that I picked the Rangers to win that series because Carolina hit the gas in the first period of the first game and never let off. And I mean, to be honest with you, I'm happy that another year of Lundqvist's life is passing without him getting close to lifting Lord Stanley's Cup. But man, I am embarrassed that I picked the Rangers and they got swept. But I'm happy about it.
Man,
Yeah, and then another surprise for me. Sorry, man. Another surprise for me is just, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. We talked about it last time. Toronto, the most talented team, continues to find a way to really mess this up. So it's just unreal.
I followed suit with you guys with that Rangers series, and I went with you. I trusted you all. You led me. I should have just went with another direction there, but yeah, it's crazy. You bring up like the NBA in that bubble too, up in with Canada for hockey and up down in Orlando, and you never know. Like these teams or these players have been off for so long. You just never know what's going to happen now. So it's almost like a brand new season, So it's been fun to watch. I feel like it's been pretty competitive for the most part. We've had how many sweeps were there so far? Just one or
just the one?
Just
yeah,
the one,
Calgary won 4, and then today's series that ended, the Islanders were a 4-game, and then the Yotes were 4 games. But these 12 seeds are just blowing minds right now. I mean, Montreal and Pittsburgh are 7 minutes left in the third, still 0-0. And then later tonight we got Edmonton, Chicago playing. See if Chicago can send the Oilers back to Edmonton because they're playing in Toronto. Or no, Edmonton's playing at home. Yeah.
Yep.
So Edmonton's just got a 20-minute ride home or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, we're going to see if the Chicago can send them home tonight.
These round robin teams, I think, have got to be loving that because there's the 2 best teams. Which one is the bigger surprise each? Boston struggling as bad as they are, or the Blues struggling as bad as they are? The 2 best teams in hockey this year look pathetic.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, like, I've watched one Boston game, I've watched one Blues game, and the Bruins just look absolutely – they look like they cannot figure out how to play hockey together. There's absolutely no chemistry with those guys. Pasternak and Bergeron and Marchand are just out there just doing whatever they want, just not working as a team. And then in net, I mean, in the first game they had I can't remember his name, Russian name. And then they ended up putting Tuukka Rask in. He didn't do any better for them. No. So I don't know what it's going to take. Zdeno Chara's taking crazy penalties. I don't know what it's going to take for Boston to wake up. But yeah, I mean, President's Trophy team, and they're looking terrible right now. But I mean, the Stanley Cup champions aren't doing too great either.
Nope.
Do you think any part of just knowing that they've solidified a playoff spot affects that? I mean, I'm sure it does. And you look at the NBA too; those top seeds are kind of like, yeah. So
Yeah, the Blues set Tarasenko last night. They set a couple of big name guys that and then a couple other guys just to kind of give them their legs was their explanation. But I feel like just after game one, they needed an excuse of why the Avalanche literally ran over them, but Bennington just saved that game. So I feel like the Blues were kind of trying to save face and just not because they do. They just look slower than any team in the tournament right now. The Blues look like the slowest team in the tournament, and Colorado looks like the fastest. One thing I am excited for how it all panned out is the Avs play Vegas, and that'll be for the 1 seed, and then the Flyers play the Lightning, and that'll also be for the 1 seed. So it's pretty awesome that the last round robins will actually be real important games.
Yeah, which Philly playing for that number 1 seed blowing my mind too. Never would have even imagined it. I saw them as the 4 seed. No better than the 3 seed, but they were my pick for the 4 seed. I've just been extremely wrong these entire playoffs.
I'm glad sports are back though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, someone
talk.
Yeah, someone like me, I had no idea going into this hockey. It's kind of like when you're picking teams for the NCAA tournament. People who just don't have a clue. They have pretty much just as good predictions as you all. So
yeah. The NHL was given $1 million to a perfect bracket, and I doubt there's a perfect bracket left.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was a little off with the old Florida Panthers there. I tried to come in with a hot take, and they got dusted today.
You got to try.
Yeah. All right, so that's our little hockey segment for the week, and pretty much anything else in sports is all basketball, NBA. So the NBA bubble began, whether you like it or not. Obviously, there's a lot of off the court, blah blah blah. But I don't care if you like it or not. If you like basketball and you're into the NBA, it's been electric so far. I'm here for it. The games have been, a little sloppy at times, but that's to be expected. They've been off for months. So, but they've been exciting. There have been a lot of games. I'd say most games go at least, down to the wire in some fashion. So, seen a lot of buzzer beaters, including old Devin Booker's buzzer beater against the Clippers the other day. How'd you feel when that shot went down? Did you have any doubt at all, Gibby, that was going to happen?
Well, I was actually really angry because Cam Johnson, rookie, was standing on the other side of the three-point line wide open. Like, after Rubio missed that shot, but then the kick-out pass got stolen. Suns get another second chance, and Booker drove on the left side. Cam Johnson was literally standing there wide open. There wasn't anybody within 20 feet, and I was like, Booker, come on. But I think his quote at the end, whenever he was like, I'm the Kobe, the Mamba mentality. That's literally what it was. Like LeBron James, all them other guys, they would have kicked it to Cam Johnson because that's the basketball play. But Devin Booker's trying to realize that his team is not good and he has to be the guy. So that was cool, just that he made it over Paul George and Kawhi.
Both of them.
So that was pretty awesome. It's a good feeling. The Suns are a long way, I still think, from being competitive, but I'm going to enjoy these wins as they come.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, anytime your team just has been bad for a while, I remember I used to hang on to like the Rams when we won like 4 or 5 games. I'd be like, hey,
things are looking up.
I got a lot of basketball fans at work, and I just walked in, just grinning, and they're like, "Your team's still awful." I said, "I don't care.
It doesn't matter." Yeah, I mean, they were on top of the sports world for that 24 hours when he made that shot, man. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, against the probably 2 best wing defenders in the league too.
That was awesome.
Yeah, anyway, so other news in the NBA, Zion Williamson continues to be on the minute restriction. They kind of have been a little, lax on that. He's played a little more over his like 5-minute spurts, but he's resting tonight. I mean, the Pelicans clearly just don't give a rat's ass about getting to the playoffs because, I mean, I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it. If they're in a position like maybe the Suns started in, maybe, he's going to be the face of the NBA. You want to, save him, make sure he's fine for next year going forward. He's young. He's what, 19, 20? I don't know.
Super young, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. But they have a chance. And when he's in the game, he produces. I mean, it's ridiculous. He had like 24 points yesterday, I think, or something. But, yeah, Alvin Gentry and the old Pelicans organization, I don't understand. I don't understand. So
Yeah, like I said, I think it was last week or another basketball talk we had. Like, I hate Alvin Gentry, and then just the whole mindset. Like, they won't even announce him last. Like, that's a big deal in NBA. It's not a big deal in other sports, but be it to announce last, like in your home games, and come out and be like the star, like that's like a big deal. And he will not do it. Like, he's just not accepting that this man is going to be the future of this franchise, and it's just weird. And then, and maybe 3 years from now, we look and think, "Wow, like good thing they saved his legs," but he's an athlete. Like, play the man.
yeah, I mean, if you got a chance, and their team is so young too, man.
So young.
And they're so talented. Brandon Ingram he's a monster. He's
Blew up.
JJ Redick. I mean, we've talked about it. They have a chance. Drew Holiday, one of the best defenders in the league, and they like. I just don't get it. They're right there in the mix of things, and they're not going to play one of their best players, if not the best player. So I don't know. That's the Pelicans for you, or pretty much a Duke basketball team, practically.
I mean, like when LeBron came to the league, they weren't they weren't protecting his legs. So I just don't understand why like they think that Zion isn't going to be able to like have that longevity.
I mean, LeBron's playing like 35 minutes a game or something. Like he's
terribly.
I mean, well, yeah, he's not been.
He's been awful. He's not been good.
The Lakers are very suspect right now going forward. I just feel like
I don't know. It could be because they've locked the number 1 seed, but come on, man! Like you've got to get your shot back before this playoff starts. Because as we talked a few episodes ago, is like if they match up against Portland, which they're going to, that's a tough matchup for their guards. And if they keep playing like this, like Portland could push them to 6.
I mean, yeah, there's people who are like, oh, LeBron, it's fixed. LeBron's going to win it all. But, and obviously with everything like Dion said with the Kobe this year, it's very much leading up to the Lakers going to the finals. But boy, I'm telling you, and since you mentioned old Dollar Dame, we'll bring him up in the Trailblazers. This dude is on a mission. He is looking to kill right now. He's getting 30, 40, 50 points a game almost. I like that matchup for them. Like you mentioned, their guards. The guard play is going to win you a series. I'm not going to say they're going to win that series, obviously. A 1-8 upset is super, super, super rare. But I do like them to get there. And it'll be interesting because, like you said, if LeBron can't, like, be everything for that team right now because, Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith, Caruso. It's just like Caldwell Pope. They're not the players that and the way they're playing right now. Like you said, we'll see what it comes down to, what the matchups look like, and we'll do an episode on that. But sure. Excuse me. Yeah. So Ben Simmons out indefinitely with a knee injury. Looks I don't think it was like a tear of anything, but it looked pretty not so, it looked pretty serious. So going forward at least. So that's a big loss for the Philadelphia. They're going to probably match up with the 3 seed Celtics more than likely. I think the Celtics probably, if they win one more game, they're going to fall into that 3 seed and be okay. But that's a tough matchup, especially when you don't have your all-star point guard. So Philadelphia fans.
Yeah, I know a lot of people say that with Simmons and Embiid that they'll never win a championship because they both need to score on the block to get points, and that just takes up too much space. But you're not getting out of the first round without Simmons. Like just the difference that he is, the difference maker that he can be, and like it's just not happening, especially with the Celtics. Like their coaching staff is the second best, I would say, in the league behind Toronto. I really like him and just the whole staff that they have and just their game plan. But without him, I just don't see them making it past the Celtics.
I've always thought they should I know this is not, a popular opinion, but get rid of Joel Embiid. And I know it's because Ben Simmons is too good. He's too good. And if he can just work on his jump shot a tiny bit more, and, he's never going to be an outside shooter. He's never going to be that at all. But if they were to be able to, if they were able to get rid of Embiid, people will give you a lot of capital for him. I think
forward. They need to stretch forward to open it up for Embiid or for Simmons.
For Simmons, yeah. Get a shooter. Get something that's gonna help this team be able to compete in today's NBA. So yeah, my thoughts on the Sixers, but we'll see what happens. You brought up Toronto. They look really good once again. Spicy P, Kyle Lowry, they're looking good. I think when it comes down to it, when they're actually, they've already locked a playoff spot, but they're going to be tough to beat. I don't want to see them in the playoffs if I'm a team in the East. But yeah, I mean, Kyle Lowry, he's always been a guy I'm like, I don't know. I feel like he's a little overrated. But once you sit down and over the past couple of years and watch him and everything he does for that team, dude's good. So, got any thoughts on the Raptors?
Yeah, I love that video that's going viral. The 10 passes, like 3 dribbles, and then just the way that Toronto plays basketball. Like I said, I think they're the best coached basketball team in the league. And then that defense, and it's kind of awesome to see in like a superstar-driven league that a team that with defense and no real stars, like you said, Kyle Lowry, but outside of that, no real superstars. It's awesome to see for the game, and I think they can make a real deep run and give old Greek Freak a run for his money.
Yeah, Siakam looks good, man. He's a lot better than I thought he was too. Yep. So Nick Nurse wasn't even put up for Coach of the Year either. Disrespectful.
Yeah, very.
So, but all right, yeah. So the race for 8th, we kind of hit on it, but we got Memphis Grizzlies right there. I don't think they won a game. I think they're playing right now.
Awful.
Yeah, so it's a tough look for them, especially with the Trailblazers right there breathing down their neck, showing no signs of slowing down. I think the Blazers, you kind of talked about it, they get that 8th seed when it's all done. The Spurs, the Suns, and the Kings in New Orleans are all right there. But I like the Blazers. And I was going to ask what you thought, but apparently you're on the same.
Even if there's a play-in game, I think that the Blazers win it. Whether they play Memphis or even if the Suns keep up this magical run, like there's no one who can guard D-Lil, let alone C.J. McCollum on the Suns, on Memphis. No one. So I think Portland runs away with it, like you said.
So you said the 8th seed. I just want to make sure I got these. I don't know if you know the 8th seed as in the 9th seed. If they're within 4 games, I think it is.
I want to say I thought it was 2, but it could be 4.
So if they're within a certain amount of games, they do like a best out of
3,
best out of 3, or something like that.
Yeah. Like if the 9 seed has to win 2 games.
Yeah, and then the one, yeah. Well, cool. You guys have anything else that has happened this week, or you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, just like real quick on basketball. What are the chances of the Western and Eastern Conference Finals not being the 1 seed playing the 2 seed? And both of them.
The Eastern is a higher probability. I think the West it's going to be tough to beat. If the Clippers end up being the 2 seed, now they're being pretty awful right now, so they could fall to the 3 or the 4 and still do it. But I think it's an LA matchup for the West. The East could be. But I think it's Milwaukee, Toronto.
Yeah, it's hard.
I think it's LA, Milwaukee, Toronto, and I'd put $100 on that right now.
Ooh. Yeah, I wouldn't take that bet because right now that's the 1-2 and that's the 1-2. So yeah, because I mean, like it just seems like in other sports, I mean, Montreal's winning right now with 55 seconds left.
Yeah. I know we seem a little distracted. That's why.
5. Yeah, 12's gonna knock out the 5 right now. But in basketball.
Oh my God! They just scored. It's over. Oh my bad. Pittsburgh's done.
In basketball, like there's no chance that it seems like there's no chance that in the East the Sixers are going to knock out the Celtics or like the Nets. I know are not going to beat the Raptors. So
I don't see it. I like you said, those teams in LA probably ended up there. It's hard to dispute that, but man, they have looked bad. And there's I mean, not terribly bad.
I know they scored the Lakers scored like 86 points the other night or something like that.
It's just hard, man. LeBron James is just going to will that team when he needs to. I think he's
I think that's the difference is like individuals can really take over in basketball. You cannot be an individual and take over in 30 seconds in hockey.
No, you can't get the ball, puck, and just go, or you can't get the puck and just, all right, I'm going to go get some points right now. It's just not that simple. So it's a different sport. That's why a lot of people hate it. But I mean, I'm here for it. It's just, hey, the Clippers were I like the Clippers actually to beat the Lakers just because they're so deep. Montrezl Harrell hasn't even played. Lou Williams is not playing that much. Like, just watch that. And Mr. Load Management himself got the biggest boost of load management with COVID and Kawhi Leonard. So, it's probably going to end up 1-2, especially with, like we talked about the Sixers, their issues. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would really like to see somebody like the Mavericks or possibly the Jazz, but they really have to get their shit together.
Yeah, they haven't played well.
They haven't, but I just feel like they have everything you need for like an upset series. They're probably both going to win their first round series, in my opinion. But it's going to be tough. But yeah, I don't think there was much NFL news this week. The opt out deadline for COVID was Thursday, so I'm sure we'll get like a full list of something of players here soon, if we don't already have it. But a lot of players were pissed off about that, them forcing it. So
yeah, kind of a crazy move on the NFL to try and hurry up. Yeah, like because this isn't going away. So for them to say, oh yeah, you have to decide by this date whether you want to opt out or not is just kind of crazy to me. And I mean, you can't blame the players for being upset about it either. Because like Tre'Davious White, he posted about
big one.
Like his girl's grandfather died from the virus, and so that's why like he wants to opt out and protect his family, and he's being attacked for doing something like that. Like, come on.
Did he opt out?
Don't be one of them fans. No, he didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I saw that post though. Yeah, so I think it's a tough decision, and if we could put that aside for 3 seconds, fantasy wise, this is gold, baby. So
if Tre'Davious White sits out, the AFC East wide receiver just got a big boost.
Yeah.
Robbie Anderson, or not Robbie, Jamison Crowder's stock is going up.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to like worry about setting your draft date too early and then somebody opting out. So
yeah,
I mean, somebody could come down with an injury, but we'll see. All right, fellas. I think that's about all we got for this week. We'll come back with another weekly recap and touch on what happened with the rest of these series in the NHL, and probably have a hockey or a NBA episode when the playoffs get set. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Check us out for some more sports content. We appreciate it. Yep.